I am Taurus Speech, also known as Work, via Instagram. And as always, thank you so much for tuning in. So this is actually one of my favorite stories to share by one of my favorite people in the world, which just so happens to be my oldest sister. Shout out to my oldest sister. You know, I always tease and say that my sister started off as my first enemy and my first best friend. Love her to death, love her to pieces. And for those of you who do know her, you can attest that she is probably one of the most intellectual women you will ever meet. So back in 2015, she made this beautiful, eloquent Facebook post that to her probably meant nothing, but to me, it meant everything, to the point I still have it screenshot in my phone to keep me reminded and keep me grounded of how true the moral of the story is. So she shared on Facebook that one day she was on her way home, that day that she posted, she was on her way home from work, and she looked up and there were gray clouds everywhere and it looked like the sky was getting ready to fall out. Now, if you also know my sister, you know that sis can't drive. Nice though, she's so nice, but she cannot drive to save her life. So the fact that there was this huge storm on the horizon kind of made her anxious. So she was thinking to herself in the post, she shared how she just prayed to God that the rain just held off until she made it home. And she kept thinking that if this sky falls out, Lord have mercy, how she's gonna have to pull over, this, that, and the other. But lo and behold, she made it home and not one drop of rain fell. And the moral of her story was there are times where we get ourselves so anxious and so worked up about storms that are never gonna hit us, when we just have to calm down and trust that God has everything in control. Now I know we can all relate to the fact that we've been there, we've done that. We create these scenarios, our sensory receptors go crazy. We create these what if scenarios that will never happen. Well, what if this, what if that? And we dwell in that space to the point we are distracted of our what is, and sometimes that is a lot more beautiful than the what if. So if we just stop, slow down, relax, and understand that all things work together for the good of those that love the Lord. That's Romans 8:28, somewhere in there in Romans. Even further, one of my favorite Bible verses too comes from John 10:10, which says, the enemy comes to steal, kill, and destroy. That is evident that is where the enemy is dwelling in your minds, because he knows. Again, I've said this before and I'll say it 1,000 times. The enemy is not after your material items. He's not after your job. He doesn't need to work. He's not after your money. He doesn't need resources to buy anything. He's not even after your kids, because you probably don't want them. So what makes you think that the enemy does? He is after your mind. That is why so many people are committing what we call suicide, because of the power of their mind has been interrupted by the intercession of the enemy. So my message for you today is to take back the power of your mind, trust the what is, and not focus so much on the what if. And if you follow Channel 1341 on Instagram, which you should, on May 24th, I posted a beautiful post about fear simply being an illusion. And my friends and I did this devotion called The Armor of God by Miss Priscilla Shire. And she talks about how the enemy is the master of illusions. That is all fear is. It is false evidence appearing real. That is from none other than Pastor Will Smith, Apostle Will Smith. So point being is, if we get a hold of that and we grasp that concept and we take hold and take back the power of our minds, understanding that those what if scenarios are nothing but an illusion of the enemy attempting to make us believe in something that is false and that is not true. As soon as we grab back that power, we will feel our lives and the burdens of life just get a little bit lighter and life get a little bit easier. I cannot pronounce his name correctly, but it's like Leo Tsu. He said, if you're depressed, you're living in the past. If you are anxious, you're living in the future. But if you're at peace, then you're living in the present. So my message today is to live in the present. Don't worry about the what if. It's okay to plan. It's okay to make a plan B just in case plan A is not quite going or you don't feel it won't go as you plan. But don't dwell in the what if. Don't create storms that you were never created to go through, and don't jump over hurdles that you were never meant to jump over, because I feel like you burn out when you start living in a life like that. So calm down, relax, trust the process as always. And like never before, I challenge you to get hard, do work, and push through. Let's do it.